Okay, welcome to this video where we are going to create our own custom button. So we have um, written code for buttons, and we've used some of the buttons that have already included in Flash and their common libraries. But what we're going to do today is we're going to create our own button, and it kind of works like a movie clip, but not exactly. It has some frames, um, and so it's a little different. So we're going to see how all of that works. Now, what you've got here is you've opened your Cerebro files Flash document. It has some skeleton stuff set up for you, like it's got a tweened intro that takes you to this spot and stops. So if you were to run it, um, you would see that, and that stops you right about here at frame 21. And then you've got some different layers. One of these layers is called button menu, which sounds good, and it's got a frame here named menu. So go ahead and make sure you're on layer button menu, you're on frame 21, and you're right around here. Now, what we would like to do is we're just going to start by creating our own button. Now, the button we're not going to have anything to do with it just yet because it's going to take. We're going to have a button that takes us back to the main menu, um, even though we can't really leave the main menu yet, but that's all right. So here's what I want you to do. Um, you need to over here in your library, at the bottom of your library, you need to you'll find this little new symbol button down here on the bottom left. Same button that you press when you want to make a new movie clip. But what we want to do is change the type to be a button. And let's call this, symbol 2 is kind of lame, let's call this um, home button. Now, again, it looks as though you just broke everything because it looks like everything got deleted, but it did not. It just took you from scene 1 into the brain for home button. Now, you notice when you look at the timeline, really strange things are happening. You've got frames, but they're very different than the frames that you had in Movie Clip. They have names. So up, over, down, and hit. Now, it's not all that complicated. Up is what you will see when the button is not being pressed, when the button is up. Over is what you will see when your mouse is hovering over the button. Down is what you're going to see when you're actually pressing down on the button. And then hit is really strange because hit is invisible. You will never see whatever you put on hit. All hit does is helps you to find the hit box of the button. That's it. But it's going to be invisible. It won't actually show up. It just defines what the hit button is. Now, what we want is go ahead to the up frame, and on the up frame we have this symbol called X symbol MC. We're just going to drag it kind of into the middle. There it is. And so that's what you'll see when the button is up. Now, let's go ahead and make a new layer. So you're going to make a layer here. Let's name these layers. The one I just had has a symbol on it. The new layer is going to have some text on it. So let's grab your text tool right here. Make sure you're on the text layer. Grab the text tool and we'll put some text that says home. Now hello, that's not an appropriate color. You can change, I don't know, whatever font you want, whatever color you want. You can change that in the properties, and that is fine. You can also get it where you want it. No, I do not want. Let's try white text. Let's make it size 20. Now it's beautiful. Okay. Now, if you were to put an object instance of this on your movie clip and you run it, all you're going to see is that, because that's what you see when it's up. Over and down have nothing exciting. Now, this symbol, let's do this on the symbol layer. On over, let's insert a frame. Now remember, a frame is exactly the same as the frame in front of it. The keyframe is important, the frame is not important. So up and over are the same thing. On the down frame of the symbol, let's insert a keyframe. So this will be different than these. And what we want is when it is down, when the mouse is down, let's take this thing and rotate it. So you'll be seeing this when you hover, when it's up, you'll see this when you hover over it, you'll see that when you click it. And then on hit, let's just insert a frame. So this defines the hitbox. The hitbox is exactly the same as the rest of the frames. Now, go ahead and save that since Flash does not save for you. Let's go back to scene 1. Remember, pause me if you get behind. Now, we haven't actually done anything with this button. Like, we have written the training manual of it, but we have not instantiated it. So what I want to do is drag an instance of it, just dump it somewhere here on your button menu, layer frame 21, and then when you run this, you will see there it is. Oop. Now, very exciting. If you click on it, it will turn. Now, let's go back in and edit it. Now, there's two ways you can edit it. You can double click this instance, or you can double click it. You can open it from the library. When you get into edit it, you'll notice that our text disappeared when we clicked it, and that's because, or even when we got over it, because the text doesn't exist here, it doesn't exist here. So let's do this. Right click, let's insert a keyframe on the text layer. So right now it just duplicated it, and then what you can do is, I'm going to take my selection tool here, I'm going to double click that to get into the text, and I'm going to change his properties. I'm going to change, I don't know, let's make him bigger text. We could even, I don't know, you could get crazy and do something fun if you want to. You could change the font, you could change the color. I'm going to make it turn a little blue. It really shouldn't be editable, it should be read-only, by the way. And just whatever you feel like. You could, if we really wanted to get fancy, we could turn it into a movie clip and make it glow, which would be really fancy. If you wanted to do that. If you really wanted to be crazy, you could right click it, say convert to a movie clip. I don't care what you call it. Make sure it's a movie clip and not a button. And then you could add a glow filter. So in the filters, sorry, everything won't fit in my screen here. In the filters property, you could say you want a new glow. Now, that's going to be crazy because then when you run it, you could have it glow, click. Now, I don't love the fact that when I hit down, it disappeared, so I'm going to go back and just insert a plain old frame so it will stay there when I click it. Very nice. Now you have your very first button. Now we haven't made that button do anything yet because we don't have a home frame to go back to because we haven't really left, but that is a custom button. Again, up is what you see when it's sitting there, over is what you see when you're hovering over it, down is what you see when you click it, and that is how you create a button.